I want to mention some of the things I saw yesterday from the teachers union. Vince Giordano, I think, has given voice to what the teachers union really thinks when it comes to our children who are less fortunate and their families and what type of opportunities they should have. Children who live and go to school in failing districts, which I've been talking about now for 3 years. Families who can't afford to have a choice when it comes to their children's education. Children in Camden and in Newark and in Patterson, Trenton, Jersey City, all over our state. To these children, this is the message from the leader of the teachers union. Life isn't fair. And an outrageous statement. I cannot express how disgusted I am by that statement by the head of the largest teachers union in our state. But I also have to tell you, I'm not the least bit surprised, because I think it so succinctly captures what their position, their real position is. Not the position they put on their slick 30-second ads when they say every child should have a great education. Well, they mean every child except for the ones in the failing school districts who shouldn't have a choice. It's an immoral position, and it continues to prop up abject failure in districts across our state. How can that be the answer from the leader of the state's teachers union for so many of these children on whether they receive a good education when they know that that's the difference between many of these folks going to college or going to jail? There's 100,000 children, you've heard me say this over and over again, trapped in 200 failing schools across this state. I want their parents to have an opportunity to have choice by having more charter schools, by improving our public schools through tenure reform and merit pay and ending LIFO. And most importantly, on the topic that Mr. Giordano was fighting against on that program, to have the Opportunity Scholarship Act for kids in failing school districts. His comments, though, just aren't surprising. Because remember something, the teachers union doesn't believe that there's an achievement gap in New Jersey. I know this is crazy because we have the second worst achievement gap in America. And this is supposed to be an organization that represents our teachers. I can tell you this, teachers in New Jersey deserve much better than Vince Giordano and Barbara Kashishian. You know, as Vince drives out of the Palace on State Street every day in his big luxury car with his $500,000 salary, I'm sure life's really fair for him. And if Vince's kids were in a failing school district, he'd be able to afford to send them to any school in New Jersey that could help them to succeed. But his answer for the single mother in Camden is, life isn't fair. Well, what isn't fair about life is the fact that guys like Vince Giordano and women like Barbara Kashishian pretend to represent what teachers in the state really think. And I don't believe it's what teachers in the state think. I believe teachers get into teaching because they want every child to do better, every child to reach their potential, not to sit on Sunday talk shows and pontificate to the poor in this state about how life isn't fair. I'm going to stand up for the poor in this state, for the mothers and the fathers who are struggling to keep a roof over their head, for the children who want a better life than the one they're watching their parents have. And the only way to do that is to get them educated. And so if you wonder why I've been fighting for 3 years on this topic, that comment yesterday tells you why. That level of arrogance, that level of puffed up, rich man baloney is unacceptable in this state. He should resign. He should resign today. Because for him to take a look at our poor children in this state and tell them that his answer about them having an option or opportunity for better education is life isn't fair, well, life should get a lot less fair for Vince Giordano today, and he should resign. It is the only honorable thing for him to do, because the teachers of this state deserve better than what he's giving them. And if he doesn't resign voluntarily, then Ms. Kashishian should finally do something worthwhile in the time she's had this job and fire him. As I'll tell you this, if somebody in my administration said something like that to the poor and the disadvantaged in this state, they would find their rear end on the sidewalk in 2 minutes. And I am going to look out my window and see if his is on the sidewalk in State Street when I get back. Questions?